For all your pastry, bakery and quality food, CK Restaurant is the only place to be. We do catering for birthdays, weddings and all related services. We have all kinds of local foods, American, European and even beyond. Come and have a taste of our local juice, ebe and other services. At CK Restaurant, customer satisfaction is our priority.
Are you thinking of owning your dream homes? EJ Investment is here for you. Secure our quality bungalows with 2, 3 or 4 bedrooms, or our story buildings 3 or 4 to 5 bedrooms at very affordable prices with flexible payment plans at our Sanyang Seaview Estate, where you can enjoy the cool breeze with modern infrastructure such as tar roads, covered drainage system, modern electrification with street lights, gated entrance with security posts, and social amenities such as gas station, shopping mall, medical clinic, park, schools, children daycare, and a lot more. Our dedicated team of professionals will keep the estate clean at all times, provide security and patrol team within the estate premises, install latest technologies such as CCTV, Wi-Fi, home network installation, solar panel, and power backup system. Also, check out for our additional home facilities and interior design service such as premium tiling, wall plaster, home landscape, fingerprint home lock, and a lot more. Visit our office at Senegambia Kololi Highway and get a free site visit tour, or contact us on 4464838. WhatsApp us on 3259220. Or you can visit our Facebook page or Instagram on EJ Investments. EJ Investments, we are first in properties.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151, or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.
Chairperson, NHRC, Honorable Vice Chair, and Honorable members of the Commission, it is with great honor and pleasure that I host this press conference, the third in the series for this year. The theme of our press conference today relates to elections, peace, and the role of law enforcement. You will recall that Gambia is heading to a presidential election on December 4th, 2021. This press conference would look at the activities that NHRC has undertaken during the period. So the discussions will revolve around three main stages: pre-election period, the election day, and post-election. The press conference will look at various activities undertaken by the Commission, such as the monitoring of voter registration exercise, dialogue with political parties, nomination of presidential candidates, monitoring of the campaign, and voting. We'll begin with the chairperson, who will take us through the process of the press conference. And this will be followed by question and answer session to be moderated by our Director of Communications and Media. Without wasting much time at this point, I would now like to take this opportunity to welcome the Honorable Chairperson of the Commission, Mr. Emmanuel Daniel Diouf, to take the floor.
Good morning, everyone. Honorable Commissioners, the Vice Chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission, Commissioner Nyundu Drame, President, Commissioner Imam Babali, the Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission, staff of the National Human Rights Commission, all the directors present, members of the media. Again, thank you very much for attending this press briefing by the National Human Rights Commission. As the Executive Secretary said, this is the third one this year. And this particular one is focusing on a very important, very important topic, very important theme, that's really elections. The elections, we're in an election cycle. And elections are important because they legitimize the democratic process, the democratic system. We are going to elect our president, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, on the 4th of December. And subsequently, by April, we are also going to have the legislative elections. Perhaps it is important to say that really the Gambia has a history of elections. And I would say that the Gambia has a history of free and fair election. Even before independence in 1960, which was the first legislative elections that were held in 1960. And it was the first time we had the universal adult suffrage of all citizens who were above the age of 21. And since then, Gambia has had elections. We went through our, from independence 1965, we have had elections throughout, except for the period in which the last elections of the First Republic was held in 1992, when there was a coup d'etat in 1994. But thereafter, by 2006, by 1996, we had a referendum which gave us the 1997 constitution. So we have had elections throughout. And not only have we had legislative elections, we had our presidential elections. In the first presidential elections were held in 1982, when we moved away from the British system of legislative election, but also to subject our head to a presidential election. So we've had these elections. We've had also 3 referendums. We had a referendum in 1965, November 24th. We had one that was to determine whether we should be a republic. And then we also had one in 1970, when we actually got the threshold and we became a republic. And in 1996, following the coup d'etat of the AFPRC, there was another referendum which ushered in in 1996, which ushered in the 1997 constitution. So it's a country, unlike others in our sub-region, where we have had multi-party democracy. Although it was mainly ruled by one party dominating, like in the First Republic when we had the PPP, and the Second Republic when we had the APRC, until in 2016, when for the first time in the history of the Gambia, we had a change of power through the ballot box. Again, it was not without some difficulties, because if you remember, it brought in the impasse. The head of state agreed to the election results on the 2nd, and on the 9th, decided that he was no longer going to agree with the results, and this created what we know as the impasse. But I think what the lessons we're going to learn from that impasse is that the fact that the elections were seen as free and fair, this is what actually gave the mandate to ECOMIC that are here. They were able to come into the country because it was the elections that were held in 2016 was seen as free and fair, and that gave them the legitimacy to come to this country. So it is therefore important that we have a free and fair election, and this is what we're going to talk about today. Well, we know that the IEC, the Independent Electoral Commission, is mandated by law to manage every aspect of elections, and we've seen that. They have registered political parties. They have registered presidential candidates. They took us through voter registration exercise in May and June of this year. And the process is on. They have given us a calendar for the campaign. They have given us dates for the presidential elections, among other things. They manage the elections. But having said that, National Human Rights Commissions play a very important part. Of course, we didn't play any part before because we didn't exist. But now we have existed since 2019, and we are therefore going to play a very pivotal part. National Human Rights Commissions all over the world take a very important role in the election cycle. They complement the work of the independent electoral commissions that they have in their country. And the reason is that elections are human rights issues. Elections are human rights. The right to vote is a fundamental human right. If you look at Chapter 4 of our Constitution, it is guaranteed. It is a fundamental human right. The right to vote and elections are also inextricably linked with freedom of association, freedom of assembly. You cannot have elections without people getting together, the campaign. You cannot have elections where parties express themselves in their manifesto, in their campaign. So these are all fundamental human rights. And if there is an institution that has been set up to monitor, to make sure that rule of law and human rights are observed, it is the National Human Rights Commission. And that is why we have actually taken a very important role in this whole process. And we continue to take a role in the process. But just to quickly tell you that preparing ourselves for this whole election cycle, we have had trainings for our staff to build the capacity of our staff so that they will be able to monitor elections wearing a human rights lens. And this we have done with the assistance of Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights. We have trained our staff on election monitoring. We've not only trained our staff on that, wearing a human rights, using the tools that have already been established, that are used by National Human Rights Commission all over the world, but we have actually gone a step further. We have conducted training for civil society organizations as well, who are going to monitor this election period. And our Director of Legal and Investigations have been taking part in these trainings for civil society. We have developed comprehensive checklist on how we're going to do this monitoring. For the concluded voter registration, The National Human Rights Commission, the one that was done between May and June, the National Human Rights Commission monitored the process in all the 7 regions. And also we were able to, our presence was felt in 67 centers. And we came up with a comprehensive report, findings and recommendations. Recommendations to the IEC. Elections are something that will keep on happening. It will continue happening. And our recommendations was to help the IEC identify certain gaps, where our recommendations were also directed to political parties, because it's very important that political parties also, because they take part in this process, that they are also on top of things. Our recommendation was also to the government generally, especially issues relating to immigration, citizenship, among others. So we have taken a part, and it's a very comprehensive report which we have shared with everybody, including development partners. And we hope that those recommendations will help the democratic system that we continue to nurture. So this is one of the many things that we have done. We have monitored the recently, but perhaps before I get to the monitoring of the presidential nomination, which just concluded last week, after we completed the voter registration monitoring, we quickly engaged all the political parties because one of the things that we have observed during the registration period was that and monitoring the media especially, we realized that there was a lot of hate speech, incitement to violence, and these were mainly done by people who profess to support certain political parties. And we felt therefore that the National Human Rights Commission had to engage the political parties and their executives so that they can preach peace to their supporters. A free and fair election is important. It's very important. You just have to look at our sub-region to know that one of the causes of conflict is where people dispute elections because they say that it's either not free or not fair, or there are people who incite violence and make the process unattainable. So we felt that it was therefore necessary for us to meet with political parties. We have not met with all, but we have met with many of them. They also had their calendars because they were sorting out their own issues. But we have met with many, many, many political parties. And the objective really was for them to talk to their supporters so that we can actually have a peaceful election. And we are very happy that the peace pledge that came shortly after, that has been signed by the political parties, also known as the Janjambure Accord, actually contain most of the issues that we raised with the political parties. So we were very happy when the peace accord was signed by the political parties. We hope that moving forward, that we will have an election that will be free, fair, and not have other problems, other issues as happen in other countries. So that we have done. We have monitored the nomination of the presidential candidate as well. The nomination process that just concluded. And we are going to, our report will soon be out. We have made observations. Again, this is geared towards assisting everybody, the IEC, the political parties, so that we can improve the system. So on our part, as a National Human Rights Commission, this is the engagements that we have been making during this period. We are going to monitor the campaign period. We are also going to monitor, of course, the polling day, and of course the results and everything that comes after. If there are challenges to the results at the level of the Supreme Court, we will also monitor. So But it is important, again, for the National Human Rights Commission that political parties, they have now signed a pledge, and we are very happy. But it's important, and I've said this country, we've had a history of peaceful election, that moving towards the presidential election, that we'll have a free, fair, and peaceful election. And this is why we have engaged the political parties. We have also, we're talking to the security services as well. It's very important that the security services are seen to be very fair and impartial. This is very important. We're coming from a history, if you remember the 22 years of the APRC, where you see police officers wearing party colors. These things have happened. Where you see police officers giving instructions, executive orders, to stop a particular political party from not holding a political rally. We have seen all those things. We have moved on. That is why we voted, the Gambians decided to have a system that is different from what we have. And we're saying to the security service, everybody, all eyes are on you. You are expected to follow due process and the rule of law. And I think this is very important. Just recently, we have had a lot of exchanges in the media relating to issues about executive orders and the like. And I think it should be made very clear. And a commission like the National Human Rights Commission has been mandated to bring back a culture of rule of law. We are an institution that talks to the executive and all the other branches of government, so the due process is done in whatever we do. So police officers, like everybody else, they are not above the law. They operate within the law. And when we say rule of law, we're talking about rule by law. So instructions must be in accordance with law. And I think this is very important that we highlight this. When we talk about rule of law, when we talk about due process, we're saying that everybody must follow the law. We derive our authorities from the law, from legislation, from the Constitution. And this is what it's meant by rule of law. And I think it's important that we keep on emphasizing this. The citizens of this country must be law-abiding. That is a must. We are governed by laws, but those who also implement these laws, law enforcement agencies, must also obey the law. And you cannot just take instructions from everybody or anybody if it is not in accordance with the law. And I think the TRRC has given us, was an eye-opener as to issues relating to executive orders. I think it's very clear what executive orders, if they do exist, must be within the confine of the law. And I think this should be made very, very clear. And we must have an election. We must have a level playing field so that at the end of the day, there will only be one winner. Come fourth or come fifth, when the results are declared, there has to be one winner. But in the process, we must make sure that even if people are going to challenge it, it has to be through due process. We cannot have a process where people, at the end of the day, the majority of the people are saying that due process was not followed, either because the system was flawed or there were executive orders being given. So this is something that we are also very concerned. The media. Again, we have the media. There is the public media. I know that the IEC, there is a timetable. And again, we are monitoring. The media should give equal coverage to the political parties or to the presidential aspirants. But not only equal, but also a period which is fair. You do not only show a particular presidential candidate campaign at 2 a.m. when everybody is sleeping. So these are all other issues that the media, if you're a public media especially, fairness of coverage should be given. And this is very important. And of course, we also urge even the private media to make sure that coverage is given. I know that you are commercial interest based on commercial, but we must make sure that we cover things in a very fair and equitable manner. And but there's has something that has been of great concern to the National Human Rights Commission, which has also been flagged and highlighted by UNICEF. We have observed that children have been used in the nomination period, in the campaign period, and it's of great concern to us that this misuse, manipulation, and engagement of children by political parties should stop. Really, children should be in school. If you look at currently, you just do a scanning of the campaigns, and you will see a lot of children wearing T-shirts, being part of the campaign. Political parties should discourage this. Parents should discourage this. I think the Minister of Education children should be in school. Children should not be used by political parties in this campaign period. And we are very, 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 very concerned. And this is something that we will take up, we'll continue taking up with the political parties and the relevant authorities. And another issue of concern, I think we quickly tend to forget that we're still hit by this scourge called COVID-19. I think Gambia has decided that COVID-19 is over, gone, finished. Just look at the way we do things right now, the political campaign. You are wondering, you think we are in 2015 before COVID-19. Again, this is of great concern to us, and our political parties. I know IEC, we have in our recommendations to the IEC, we have actually highlighted COVID-19 protocols should be adhered to, hand sanitizers, masks, but political parties and all these rallies, make sure that your political supporters are COVID-19 compliant. Because as you know, the word says, the bigger the crowds, then you have the super spreader. We should not compromise the life of Gambians just because of politics as well. So I think this is something that we are greatly concerned. And so basically, these are the main issues that the National Human Rights Commission wanted to talk to you about as we go through this very important cycle which will determine at the end of the day who is going to govern us. These elections will legitimize the democratic system that we have. We have made a lot of gains, and we hope that we'll not have reversals in the gains. These gains should be linear, and it should not be reversed. And that is why we're very concerned when statements come and take us back to issues like executive order. We have moved ahead, and let us guard the gains that we have made. And with the support of the media and working with all the relevant stakeholders, I think we have a Gambia. At the end of the day, doesn't matter who wins, Gambia is our country, and this is the place we're going to be. We do not want another impasse, or we do not want chaos after 4th of December. So I thank you very much for coming to this press conference, and I hand it over to Isa to come now. All right.
all your pastry, bakery, and quality food, CK Restaurant is the only place to be. We do catering for birthdays, weddings, and all related services. We have all kinds of local foods, American, European, and even beyond. Come and have a taste of our local juice, ebe, and other services. At CK Restaurant, customer satisfaction is our priority.
Are you thinking of owning your dream homes? EJ Investment is here for you. Secure our quality bungalows with 2, 3, or 4 bedrooms, or our story buildings 3 or 4 to 5 bedrooms at very affordable prices with flexible payment plans at our Sanyang Seaview Estate, where you can enjoy the cool breeze with modern infrastructure such as tar roads, covered drainage system, modern electrification with street lights, gated entrance with security posts, and social amenities such as gas station, shopping mall, medical clinic, park, schools, children daycare, and a lot more. Our dedicated team of professionals will keep the estate clean at all times, provide security and patrol team within the estate premises, install latest technologies such as CCTV, Wi-Fi, home network installation, solar panel, and power backup system. Also, check out for our additional home facilities and interior design service such as premium tiling, wall plaster, home landscape, fingerprint home lock, and a lot more. Visit our office at Senegambia Kololi Highway and get a free site visit tour, or contact us on 4464-838. WhatsApp us on 3259220. Or you can visit our Facebook page or Instagram on EJ Investments. EJ Investments, we are first in properties.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, Takaful Fund, management of Zakat, management of Awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151, or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.